Hello and welcome to the Whole Being Healing Podcast. I am Lisa Warner.
And I am Maura Leon S. And together we have created
Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers.
Yeah. And today we are going to talk to you about love and moving from fear to love, which is quite a thing.
Right? The ability to transmute fear and turn it into love is a skill that we can develop. And it's a very important skill because it's a very valuable skill. And today we'll talk to you about why it's so valuable.
Yeah. Why is it so valuable? Oh, I'm sorry.
No laughing.
I will do my best to behave. It's been such an interesting day, and we're having so much fun. Let's continue to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun is part of the healing process. Like, healing is about bringing ourselves back into the alignment of the truth of who we are. And the truth of who we are is we are souls, grand beings of light, angels in human form. And our natural state is well-being, joy, happiness, curiosity, feeling confident and certain. All of these things are the truth of who we are.
Yeah.
Fear
So is
not.
Is this what we were all taught from birth? All those things you just said,
Right?
right? Were we all taught that we're grand beings of light, that we're perfect and beautiful and powerful and amazing and filled with love, and we're creator beings? Unfortunately, that isn't really the message a lot of us got. Probably most of us.
Exactly. Most of us received the message that we were born sinners and that we have to redeem ourselves, and there's something wrong with us, just a lowly human. It's just simply not true. And when we're living as the not self, the opposite of who we are, then we can't possibly be healthy because our bodies are following our consciousness. And when we believe that there's something wrong with us, our bodies respond to that belief.
Right. So when we're not in that space of love and knowing that love is what we really are, then we're in fear in one way or another. And we're in conflict in one way or another. And that's what creates what we call dis-ease. We're not at ease.
Exactly.
And it's amazing to learn about this, about how, it's like I learned about it in relationships, and it's really the same with physical healing that it is with relationships. When there's conflict there, and when I'm allowing conflict or possibly even creating conflict and feeling like the other person is creating it, but I'm doing it, it's the same as with the body. It's the same as with anything. It's all my creation. I get to choose.
Right? We've never been taught that we're creators. We've just been led to believe that we're victims of circumstance and that the world is the way it is and we have to just make the best of the way it is. And we've never been taught that we can actually greatly influence the way it is. And we don't have to live in fear and doubt and constant battle mode. Shields up. Oh no. Like, we're not meant to live that way. God,
Right?
Source Universe, did not create a combative universe. It's simply not the way it's designed.
Right? Like everyone wants world peace. And there's a song that's been sung forever about peace begins with me. And yet we don't put that together so much of the time, that it's the inner peace that creates the peace. That's the only peace there is. And if we don't have that peace, then nothing's going to work. Nothing's going to be peaceful. And, the other thing we're learning at this time of awakening is that healing our physical bodies and healing our own selves and our own lives is a part of healing the collective and healing the earth. It all works together. So yeah, we're each doing it individually, but we're also doing it together. And we're also learning that when we follow our authentic selves, who we are, and our passion, and when we let go of the fears that have kept us in these little boxes and have kept us stuck for so long and have kept us not, being afraid to go out and do things that are authentic to us. Like, well, what if people don't like that? What if something bad happens? We're at a point where it's like, bad is happening because we have been in fear, because we allowed bad to happen. We need to create good happening.
Yeah. The state of the world is, that there are people who are kind of the rulers, the ones who are in charge, and they have been utilizing fear as a tactic to get us to react in very specific ways. And because we have, for all our lives, we have been manipulated by fear. It's not our fault, but it's really time for us to see what's actually happening so that we can stop allowing ourselves to be manipulated by the fear.
Right, because the power we have within us is so much greater than we have any idea of. And if we realize that, we wouldn't be afraid. We don't need to be afraid. And yet it takes some practice, right? Like because we're still constantly bombarded from those around us, from the media, from just the energy that's moving through the air. There's so many ways that we're still bombarded with that fear that it takes a lot to just keep reminding ourselves who we are. And that's why we're all coming together now, as leaders, as healers, as people who are seeing what's going on, so we can support ourselves and each other and remembering who we are.
Yeah, fear is a frequency. It's an energy, and it's not personal. It just simply is. It's a frequency that vibrates at a specific wavelength, and when we feel that wavelength with our bodies, or something triggers that feeling in our bodies that we associate as fear, then when the fear is embodied, we have all of these ideas that I'm afraid of, blah, 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 fill in the blank.
Right.
And that we make the fear personal. Then it becomes my fear, or the fear of something. But when we start to change our perspective, we start to recognize that fear is a frequency, and when we feel that frequency, we're going to have thoughts that match the frequency, and then we're going to have a reality that matches the thoughts that match the frequency. So
right,
everything in our external world becomes like, oh no, I'm afraid of that. Oh no, what about? Oh no, oh no, oh no. But we're seeing through the lens of fear. And when we see through those rose-colored glasses, right? The fear-colored glasses, everything we look at seems scary. But that's the thing. We have to be able to take those glasses off and recognize, oh, wait a second, that was never mine.
Right. And it's interesting too that I notice that when I'm in that fear mode and I don't even realize that it's fear, but I'm in it, and it causes me to want to be defending myself, defending the things that my mind is doing that aren't really serving me. And that's like defending is like attacking and defending. It's war. It's that whole battle model that we have been conditioned to our whole lives. So now when I notice myself, oh, I'm right now like arguing for my limitations. I'm like literally defending my fear, right? Which I didn't even realize was fear
Right.
because it's sneaky that way, right? But anything that isn't love, anything that isn't joy, anything that isn't expansiveness and authenticity and like movement toward creation, toward awesomeness is fear. It's being in that conflict mode.
Right. When we look at how Earth was how Earth was in its pristine state long, long ago, the Garden of Eden, paradise. And we can see this when we go out into nature. We can see the beauty of this planet. We can see the incredible biodiversity. And we can see how all of the systems, the plants, the animals, the insects, the waters, the air, the humans, well, supposedly, we can see how they
Well, who we
all
really are.
work together as one
Yeah.
big ecosystem. But
Hmm.
it's the humans that are actually working against the ecosystem. If the ecosystem, if we think about if all the humans were taken off the earth for a little while, and when did we see that actually happen? Wait a second. When all the humans went inside for a while, the earth started to regenerate herself and rejuvenate herself. She healed. Right before our eyes, we could see waters clearing, we could see the skies clearing, we could see all kinds of healing happening
Mm.
automatically in Mother Earth. Well, our bodies are also part of the earth. They are also part of this physical plane. And our bodies are also designed to heal. But we have to stop doing the things that are harming ourselves. Like, just like we have to stop doing the things that are harming the earth, we have to also stop doing the things that are harming ourselves and thinking thoughts of, I'm not okay. What's wrong with me? I'm lacking this and that. And all of that is actually harming our bodies.
Yeah. 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 I'm speechless. You have rendered me speechless. That
It's
was
like all
beautiful.
of the ways that we have been driven into fear. And, if we don't kill all the birds, they're gonna infect us with something. It's like, wait a second, why are we harming entire species on the planet to try to
Well,
protect
but there's
ourselves from something that we're afraid of?
right, exactly. And that's the clue because when they say that, we have to do this because something bad's going to happen if we don't. That's like the clue. This is about fear. So whenever you hear that, just know, oh, that's false, right? False evidence appearing real. Fear, false.
Right? So it's so important to be able to take command of that fear, to take command of that frequency, to rise above that by remembering who we are and by starting to recognize that that doesn't have to control me. Whatever I'm looking at that I'm afraid of, I'm actually looking at an illusion, because there's nothing in all of creation that God, source, universe created for us to be afraid of. There are a lot
Right?
of things that man has created to make us afraid so that we could be controlled. So fear is the mechanism of control. It's not real. It is the illusion. It's the curtain that we need to pull back and see who's behind that. Where is that coming from? You know, in Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, the great and powerful Oz was not so great and powerful after Toto pulled the curtain back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And the other words for fear that I've heard that I also like is forgetting everything's all right.
Mm,
So when we hear these things that are made to make us fearful, they're made to make they have the result of us forgetting. If we go into the fear, if we buy into that and we don't notice that that's what's happening, then we forget who we are. Because if we remembered who we are, just like you said at the beginning, a grand being of light is not afraid. A grand being of light knows that we're creating everything through God, that God's creating everything through us, that everything is unfolding perfectly and beautifully, and there's nothing to fear.
right? We're these beautiful, grand creator beings created in the likeness and image of God, the creator, life itself. And these bodies are designed to self-heal. But when we forget that, when we stop trusting our bodies, when we start believing, Believing, when we start believing the lie that there's something wrong with our bodies, that our bodies are malfunctioning, that they're broken, that, they're, creating cells out of control. Oh my God. When we start believing these stories that are not true, we actually do things that harm ourselves in the name of
And this,
protecting ourselves.
yeah, and this even includes the alternative stories when they're dramatic, when they're fear-based, right? This is what's making us sick. And it seems like an alternative to the mainstream narrative. So we're thinking, oh, okay, that's what's making us sick. And then we fear that. So, watch those things. Be careful of those things too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we are all in love all the time, the healing just completes whatever it needs to do and we're done. We just be love. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, yeah, we're all experiencing a lot because the world is experiencing a lot. So we are all in healing. All the things that we feel, oh, there's something wrong with me. We are all, that's the healing. That's what's happening right now. It's our part in healing the earth, right? Is allowing the healing to happen that's happening in our bodies, like not being fearful of it, because when we're fearful of it, we stop it, we suppress it, we keep it from doing what it needs to do. If we're not fearful, it can do what it needs to do, just like a cut heals right up.
Absolutely. Our bodies are responding to our emotions and our thoughts. Every thought we think, the body is listening to, and it's responding accordingly. It's adjusting itself. It's creating more cells. It's getting rid of cells. It's changing in its neurological function. And the body's job is literally to keep us alive. That's its job. The body's job is to protect us and keep us alive. It is here to help us in every moment of every day.
That's so interesting because I've heard you say that before, but when you said it just now, it made me realize that if that's true, which it totally makes sense, the body's job is to keep us alive, then the only thing that would stop that is if we get in the way of that. Or I guess if somebody else does and just kills us. But
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 at the
even
same
then,
right, at the
like we
same
wouldn't.
time, like if we're in the truth of who we are, there is nobody in all of creation that has the power to take us out.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like that wouldn't even come to pass
right.
if, like, when we are fully aware of who we are, that doesn't even come into the picture.
Hmm. Exactly. We
Because that's a creation too.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, we never even have to think about it. We don't have to worry about it. We are we have our armor around us all the time. It's called our biofield or our light body, whatever words you want to put on it, our aura.
This right here.
Yeah. And when this aura is in full alignment with the divine truth, that's what we experience 24/7. That becomes our reality in every moment of every day. It's when we're living in, oh no, what's going to happen? I don't have enough. Where's that coming from? I don't know what to do. When we're living in all of that fear and doubt and worry and guilt and shame, which we've been taught, those are the thought patterns that we have been taught to think. Those are the things that make us react in fear and do things that don't really make a whole lot of sense and don't really hurt. They don't really help us. Just like when, we think that, oh, well, that's just industrial waste. We'll just put it in the river. That's all right. We'll just get rid of it that way. Really? Like, how is that helping anybody or anything at all in any way, shape, or form? It's not, obviously. Right? So when we're taught that we need to put these things in our bodies, stuff that has, all kinds of chemicals, if you read the labels, and there's all kinds of stuff that you have no idea how to pronounce, you don't know what it is, but you're taught that, oh, well, these are great for you. And we just simply go along with that. And all right, great. Well, if they're selling it to us, then it must be good. It's like, wow. It's the same thing with the medical system. Well, if they're selling it if this is the remedy, then it must be okay. It's like we have to start looking at what's actually happening.
Yeah. And I think so many are. I mean, if you're watching us now, I think I said this last week too, like you probably aren't fully on board that train anymore. but the indoctrination has been so deep that when we're kind of left to our own devices to allow our programmed mind to just go off, which it can easily do if we let it, and we're just like separating ourselves from each other because that's part of what the programming does. It's like, well, don't talk to anybody about this because they're going to think you're weird. And separating ourselves from those, those weird people. Okay, we're the weird people. If we don't connect with other weird people, who are we connecting with? We're connecting with the ones who are in the fear, the ones who are amplifying that fear, right? Rather than amplifying their light, rather than shining their light. So it's really important for us to connect with each other, the ones who are focusing on love and healing, real healing.
Mm-hmm. Fear and love operate at two completely different wavelengths. So if you're down in the fear and you're in this state of I'm depressed, I'm not feeling well, there's something wrong with me, or if you're up here in the love and peace and I'm actively creating my reality, there's not a whole lot of crossover between these two. There's really not any crossover at all between those two states of being. So it's not always so easy if, once we've all been living down in this level of fear and doubt and being controlled and taught what to think and what to do. But when we start to step out of this and we start to raise our consciousness, we start to raise our vibration. When we look around, there aren't as many people up at this level as there are that are still down here. And it does make it very kind of inconvenient sometimes to, just speak your truth. And then everybody around says, oh my God, that's not true. Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about. When in fact, it's actually that way.
But that's also part of the consciousness shift and part of the the way of being, the embodying of this truth of who we are, is that we then attract into our field people who are going to resonate with what we say. And even when there are people who wouldn't generally resonate with it, but we're sharing it in a way that's so perfect because we're more connected to our inner guidance, to our intuition. We're more connected to like allowing words to come that are the perfect words that that one needs to hear to get it on the level that they're able to get it.
Mhm. Right. And that's one of the things that's so beautiful about Lisa and Mara's Magical Mystery School for Whole Being Healers is that we are taking these people who are just on the verge of moving up into their full consciousness and just helping them, giving them a step up, just a step by step pathway to step into their full knowingness. It's a simple pathway, but the transformation that people are experiencing because they have that group of like-minded beings around them and they have that support and say and the the ability to express what's inside, what they've never really felt comfortable expressing. So if you're not comfortable expressing something, it kind of gets stuck inside.
Uh,
And the stuff that gets stuck inside is what starts making us sick. It makes us not feel well. But as soon as we start expressing it and getting it out and recognizing that there's no repercussion, there's no feedback of negative feedback, there's acceptance. And pretty much
right,
everybody has been through the same thing. It's like, oh my gosh, that was me too. Oh, I know that exact same thing. and and
right.
power in community.
Yeah, just listening to others sharing authentically is so healing just in itself.
Mhm.
And how many opportunities do we get to do that in our daily lives? You know, like we are, those of us who are moving in this direction are moving toward community, but we're all still kind of caught up in the matrix in many ways. And yeah, so we need to create those opportunities of connecting, of being in the presence of people who can share something authentically in a way that will be healing to us, and vice versa. We can share something that will be healing to them, and we can get support from people who are already on a path. I mean, this is why you and I chose to do this. It's like we realized, well, we did, jump on this path early of yeah, the body heals itself and we're going to prove it. We're going to trust it. We're going to do whatever it takes to allow it, you know. And so when you got on a path early, you can support others who are coming after you. And this is what we want to see happen, not just with us doing it, but we created this mystery school so that you can do it too. You can learn how your body heals itself. Even if you already know it, you can embody it in a way that you can then support others in that you can heal yourself completely and support others, that we can all heal ourselves completely and create the world we want to live in.
Right? Because healing isn't just about healing our bodies. We have to heal body, mind, soul, spirit. We have to be able to heal our emotions. We are multidimensional beings. So healing is not just about healing the physical body. The physical body is the last part that heals. We have to heal the other parts because the body is following the other parts.
Well, and they're not even just parts, they're totally integrated together. They've sort of, this is another thing that's become separated, I've noticed, because the further I go in my own healing, the more I see how the physical, the mental, the emotional, the psychological, the spiritual, they're all connected and they're all working together.
Mhm.
And I can feel it in a way now that I never could before. It's amazing. It's really fascinating.
Right? That's why we call it whole being, because we're not separated, fragmented parts. We are a whole being. Every single one of the parts is integrated with all the other stuff. Right?
and we're integrated with each other if we allow ourselves to be. I mean, we are anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like we're always creating, whether we're creating for ourselves or against ourselves, it's the same with our connection with each other. Let's make it work. Let's make it powerful. Let's make it beautiful and joyful.
Right? Let's all work together and step outside of that false matrix control structure, because we can't heal while we're being controlled. It's just simply not going to happen. Like, even though
Right?
most at this point, so many people don't really realize the level of control that's happening. But once we start to recognize who we really are as these grand beings of light, it becomes a lot more simple to see the control structures and to simply step away from them, because we're not obligated to participate in our own
And
imprisonment.
right. And as we create something that's fully outside of that together, then we're creating a space for others to come to and be a part of. So it's like, well, what do I do other than that? I don't know what else to do. That's been my whole life. That's the only way I know. Right. But there are spaces being created, and this is one of them. And we're actually connecting with other spaces that are being created that are in alignment,
Mhm.
that make that cover even more of the bases, so that we're all able to move out of that control system and into real, real. What is real?
Yeah, real health, real peace, real living, not just surviving,
Yeah.
but really thriving. And we can't do it alone. We must do it together, even though it's up to each and every one of us to do it for ourselves. It's very
Right.
difficult to do it all by yourself. But when you gather together with others and everybody's doing it together, it is incredibly powerful.
Yeah. And fun.
Yes, indeed.
You gotta make it fun.
Yes. So if this
Wow.
message
Awesome.
resonates with you, come to wholebeinghealing.life and check out what our mystery school is all about. See what's actually possible for you. And if it feels in
Yeah.
alignment, schedule an enrollment call with us. Have a conversation to make sure that it's the next step for you.
Yeah. And also sign up for our email list, because there are some really powerful, beautiful things that we're sending out. And it's really present for me right now to want to grow that list, to want more people to be able to benefit from that. Yeah, so I highly recommend you do that at the very least.
Well, thank you all so much for watching or listening to the Whole Being Healing podcast today. And we hope that this has been of value to you.
Yeah, I think there was probably some value. Had to be a little bit in somewhere.
Little gems in there, one way or another.
Yeah.
uh,
Well, yeah, it was really our honor to do this for you today, and thanks so much for joining us. And we love you.
yes, we do. So until next time, happy
Happy
healing.
healing.